let's now proceed to strategic plan for judicial innovations. You may have heard of this lecture somewhere else, but there's nothing wrong if we will repeat the discussion. Ano? Okay. So it's a blueprint designed to modernize and transform the Philippine judiciary to enhance its efficiency, accessibility, accountability, and responsiveness to the needs of the people. Kasi ang Korte Suprema is part of the government and public office is a public trust, di ba? Ayan. This SPJI was initiated under the leadership of the current Chief Justice. Okay? Si Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo. This document represents a commitment to long-term reforms, emphasizing innovation, technology integration, and enhanced judicial processes. Kaya nga kasama dito yung digital bar examination. Kasama dito yung electronic filing of pleadings. Di ba? Ngayon, requirement yan, ang electronic filing. Oh. Okay. Now, what are the core objectives? Ito yung tinatawag na 3 pillars of SPJI. Una, efficiency of court processes. Okay? Kasi ang laging akusasyon ng mga laymen, ang tagal kapag ka nasa korte. Ang tagal bago matapos. So streamlining court operations to reduce case backlog and improve resolution time. Kasi sa Constitution natin, mayroong time frame para magdesisyon ng mga korte, which in our experience, hindi man yata masyado nasusunod. Di ba? Adoption of case management system for better tracking and monitoring of cases. At saka kung puro nakapile lang yung sa filing cabinet, ang hirap hanapin. And redefining the procedural rules to simplify and harmonize litigation process. Okay? So yan yung efficiency of court processes. Now, number 2, accessibility and public trust. As I said earlier, public office is a public trust. That's Article 11, Section 1 of the Constitution. So what should the court do? Improve access to justice, especially for marginalized sector. Kasi naman, yung mga may pera, nakakapagbayad ng abogado, yung mga nasa laylayan ng lipunan. Ito yung marginalized kung tawagin, di ba? So strengthening mechanisms for transparency and accountability within the judiciary. Ang litigation must be transparent. Ang pagdesisyon ng huwes must be transparent. Leveraging technology for e-filing, virtual hearings, and online court services. In the YouTube channel, I have already discussed yung online hearing. Di ba? Meron tayong rules niyan coming from the Supreme Court way back 2021 na pinapayagan yung video conferencing hearing under certain circumstances. You can go to the YouTube channel and you can watch my lecture on this video conferencing hearings. At shout out dun sa ating mga members of the channel and mga subscribers. So salamat sa inyong tiwala. Okay. Then, adapting technology for judiciary. Kaya nga nandun na yung video conferencing, nandyan yung electronic filing, because it improves the institutionalized information and communication technology in the judicial process. So kaya inumpisahan doon sa bar exam, digital. Kaya kahit na yung hindi magaganda ang sulat na katulad ko, wala na tayong disadvantage, di ba? Kasi i-encode mo na lang. Kaya lang, kailangan mabilis kayo mag-encode. Developing automated system for decision making and documentation. Di ba? And enhancing cybersecurity. Kasi minsan na-hack din. Kailangan proteksyonan ang data ng ating mga litigants. Okay? So kasi there's no other way but to adopt technology. Kaya kahit yung korte natin, must adopt technology. Now, what are the key features of the programs? Judicial efficiency. Kasi time and again, palagi sinasabi ng mga laymen, inefficient ang court system. It's now time para i-decongest natin. Diba? Nag-appoint na ng mga court decongestion officers ang mga korte at may mga sweldo yan. So for decongestion, implementing specialized courts for complex cases. may mga commercial courts tayo, may mga environmental courts tayo, di ba? In addition to the family courts. Then increasing the role of alternative dispute resolution. Meron naman tayong ADR law, Republic Act 9285. That's as early as 2004. So, why not resort to arbitration? Baka naman magkasundo. That is why it has always been a practice, di ba? Na kahit na criminal cases, particularly those cognizable with the first level courts, MTC level, na kahit criminal cases bago mag-pre-trial, pwede ba mag-mediation muna kayo? Baka magkasundo para hindi na masayang yung oras ng korte. Kasi minsan during trial, saka pa nagkakasundo, nasayang na yung resources ng korte. Pwede naman pala magkasundo na Okay? And then, minsan, pag hindi pa rin nagkasundo, meron tayong rule on judicial dispute resolution, hindi ba? Just to settle the problem amicably. And then, you have judicial efficiency, number 2, rules of procedure. Updating the rules on civil procedure and criminal procedure. Inumpisahan na noong 2019 pa, although hindi masyadong napansin kasi nag-pandemic, but 2019 amended na yung rules on civil procedure. And then yung rules on criminal procedure, ang Supreme Court may decision adopting the DOJ proposal on rules on the preliminary investigation and inquest proceedings, di ba? O na hindi na tawag dito, ang hinahanap na natin ay yung prima facie evidence and reasonable possibility for conviction. Okay? At hindi na lamang anong tawag doon, yung quantum of proof para sa preliminary investigation. Anyway, and creation of standard templates and guidelines to assist litigants. Probable cause, yung hinahanap natin, no? But right now, prima facie evidence with reasonable certainty for conviction. Ayan. And soon, aamyendahan na naman ang rules on criminal procedure. Undergoing ng amendment dito, no? Why? Kasi naman 2000 pa na huling na amyendahan yung rules on criminal procedure. 25 years ago na yan. Isang generation na yan. Then creation of standard templates and guidelines to assist litigants and judges. Pwede naman i-copy-paste na lang siguro. Huwag lang yung actual na desisyon. Okay? And then, number 3, monitoring and accountability. Yung mga judges, tingnan nyo, may directive ang Korte Suprema na mag-conduct ng jail visitation. Periodic performance assessment of judges and court personnel. Di ba may mga kanyan, ino-audit kung ilang kaso na ang nadesisyonan ninyo at ano na ang nagawa ninyo. Enhanced coordination between judicial regions for workload distribution. Kasi sa mga areas katulad ng Metro Manila, sangkaterba talaga ang kaso dyan But in other areas of the country, na hindi naman masyadong litigious ang mga tao, parang konti lang ang napapile na kaso, so hayahayang buhay ng mga court personnel. Baka naman pwedeng i-distribute yan. Okay? That's part of monitoring and accountability. And accessibility to justice. So may legal aid, may pro bono programs, at yung ULAS, yung Unified Legal Aid Service. Na nire-require lahat ng mga practitioners, of course, there are exceptions, na mag-render ng at least 60 hours of pre-legal aid for 3 years. So every 3 years may compliance na hihingi. And also, the IBP has expanded its pre-legal aid services. At ikino-coordinate sa mga law school, kaya nga, dito rin ipinapasok yung CLEP, yung Clinical Legal Education Program. So integral part ito ng SPJI. Okay? And creation of online legal assistance portal. Pero may mga, mag-ingat kayo dyan kasi may mga online na akala mo legal, yung pala nangihingi ng bayad. May nakita pa nga akong online law firm na may membership fee. Na pagka daw nag-member ka, babayad ka ng 200 yata to 500, meron kang lifetime free legal advice. Hala? Delikado, no? So hindi yung kasama dyan. And part of accessibility to justice, judicial outreach initiatives. Public awareness, campaigns on judicial reforms and rights, at translation of legal documents and decision into major Philippine languages. Alam nyo, matagal nang gusto yan ni Senator Padilla that the court proceedings be done in Filipino. Di ba? Kaya lang alam nyo, ang language of the law and the language of the court in the Philippines, ironically, is English. At hindi naman lahat tayo pinanganak na marunong mag-English, di ba? In all other countries, kahit sa Japan na napakaunlad, Japanese yung kanilang ang kanilang court proceedings Sa Korea, I had the chance to observe itong court proceeding dun sa Doha, Qatar. Di Arabic yung kanilang language. Pag ikaw ang foreigner, ikaw maghahanap ng translator. Hindi sa atin Pilipino tayo pero nag-i-English tas may interpreter. I remember during the time of Chief Justice Panganiban, gusto rin na yan na ipatranslate sa Filipino yung major court decisions to bring the court closer to the masses. Yun ang sabi. Kaya lang may mga nagreklamo Paano daw ita-translate sa Filipino yung motion for intervention with prayer for preliminary injunction? Di ba? Medyo mahirap-hirap yan. But that's a valid motion. Sabi ng mga taga Marinduque yata ito, ng mga Tagalog speakers, madali po yan. Galaw sa pakikialam na may panalangin ng pansamantalang pagpipigil. Naku, delikado. Baka madali tayo sa Safe Spaces Act, di ko na itutuloy. Okay? Diba? Pero Senator Padilla has been advocating, to his credit, hindi ko alam kung anong reason niya, na dapat sa Pilipino daw. Alam ko may punto naman siya. Now, if you want to read a decision of the Supreme Court that's entirely written in Filipino, Tagalog kasi sa Pilipinas, kahit Pilipino, marami tayong mga languages pinakamarami dyan yung Tagalog syempre, tapos Cebuano, paano naman kayo mga Bicolano, hindi ba? Yung mga Ilocano. Kung gusto niyo ng Pilipino, Tagalog-based na decision ng Korte Suprema, you can read the case in 1999, no? Yung kaso nung People versus Ventura Binuya. People versus Ventura Binuya. Ito ay rape case involving a minor victim. Tapos pinapariman sa lower court. That was entirely written in Filipino. At ang sumulat si Justice Austria Martinez. So talagang Filipino yung kabuuan yan. But the rest, minsan nagko-quote lang sila, no? But still in English. Why? We have to admit the fact na hindi lahat ng Pilipino marunong mag-English Hindi lahat ng Pilipino naabot yung mataas na pag-aaral na marunong mag-English. Di ba? Yun, that's one of the key features of the SPJI. Translation of legal documents and decisions into major Philippine languages. And inclusivity. Facilities for services for persons with disabilities or PWDs in court. Kasi nga naman, yung mga korte natin nasa 10th floor, 4th floor, di ba? Pagka nasa Makati kayo, mataas, nasa 10th floor yata ang korte, ang haba ng pila sa elevator. Madalas ako dyan, naghahagdan lang kasi ang haba ng pila ng elevator paano yung mga PWD? Of course, may priority para dun sa kanila sa elevator. Policies to protect women and children and indigenous people in judicial processes. Actually, matagal naman na ito, no? Na pagka-bawsi cases yan, o kaya child abuse cases, hindi na binabanggit yung mga pangalan ng mga biktima to protect their identity. That's one of the process to protect them. Okay? And then, technology-driven judiciary. So, e-courts and digital system. Kaya nga, nagpa-file tayo ng electronic pleadings, no? E-submission. At ito na, pin-implement na yan kahit sa mga lower courts, nationwide implementation of e-courts for faster filing and retrieval of case record. Kasi kung nasa digital na yan, madali na And then online platforms for litigants to monitor case status. Ito yung website ng Supreme Court para lang doon ito sa mga cases decided by the Supreme Court. Paano yung decided by the lower courts, di ba? So yan, kasama rin ito doon sa gagawin nila para ma-monitor yung status ng mga kaso. And then, ito yung guidelines on electronic submission of pleadings in lower courts. Effective na ngayon yan. So, pag naging abogado kayo at magpa-file kayo ng mga kaso sa lower courts, yan ang susundin. Pero, we did not do away with the actual filing. So, may physical copy ka pa rin na ipafile. Pero may electronic filing. Kasi nga, hindi pa naman perfect yung electronic filing. Baka magkaroon ng glitch, we would resort to the physical copy of your pleading. Diba? Okay. And then, virtual hearings. Meron na yan. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, ayan, yung lecture natin dun sa online hearing. May mga advantages yan, pero may disadvantages din eh. Then infrastructure investment to ensure uninterrupted digital access. So meron na bang mga internet connection? Meron naman na siguro. Diba? Although mga internet providers natin, para mga jowa nyo lang, madalas nagloloko, madalas unstable. Okay. And then, cyber security. Tingnan nyo ito. Example ito. Na-hack yung website ng House of Representatives. Maraming mga website ng gobyerno na-hack eh. Yan din ang worry kapag ka nag-fully digital ang korte. So, dapat strong cyber security. Diba? Pati yung storage ng mga judicial records. Kasi baka mamaya mapapalitan. Naku, delikado yan. Instead na conviction, yung pinalitan, ginawang acquittal. Nako, so mahirap ma-hack ito. Kaya hindi pa rin inaalis yung physical copy or hard copy. And then, collaborative governance. The Supreme Court, in partnership with the executive and legislative branches, provide data support. Of course, we all know na mayroong fiscal autonomy ang Supreme Court, but the budget still comes from the national government. Diba? Although may sariling pondo ang Supreme Court, dahil pagka nag-file ka ng kaso, meron na pupunta dun sa Judicial Development Fund, di ba? May budget ng Supreme Court. But still, the bulk of the budget comes from the national government and also with the local government. Diba? Kasi alam naman natin pare-pareho yan na yung mga yung mga judges yata ay merong natatanggap na allowance sa local government units eh. Depende kung gaano kayaman ang LGU. May alam akong LGU, libre ang kotse nila. Tapos may allowance pa. Di ba? Ganun. Okay. Now, how do we implement? So, implementing mechanisms, no? Judicial leadership and training, mandatory training for judges on new rules and technologies. At trabaho ito ng Philippine Judicial Academy. Okay? At pagka gusto nyo mag-apply na judge, pag-usapan natin yan, you have to undergo the so-called prejudicature training program. Now, leadership programs to ensure progressive judicial management. And monitoring and evaluation, formation of committees to oversee SPJI implementation. Natural, mayroon nag-oversee. Nasaan na ba ang implementation nito? And regular audits and feedback mechanism to refine strategies. Kasi may mga programa minsan na napabayaan, hindi na natuloy. Maganda sana yung programa dati, yung Justice on Wheels, di ba? Na may bases na binili ang Supreme Court, pupunta dun sa mga jail facilities na may mga kailangan na palang i-hearing doon na hindi nakaschedule. So kaya lang parang na-discontinue ngayon yun. Okay? And then, what are the anticipated challenges? Siyempre, number one problem dyan yung funding. Kasi kailangan mo ng resources, hindi ba? So the judiciary requires significant financial investment to upgrade technology and infrastructure. At advocacy for sustained governmental and donor support is crucial. At makikita ninyo dito, may mga international organizations, US, Australia, nagdo-donate sa ating Supreme Court. So kasama ito dun sa funding and resource allocation. Now, resistant to change. Ay nako, marami, lalo na yung mga, alam ko, yung mga judges na medyo pa-retire na, ay wala na, magre-retiro na ako, hindi ko na kailangan yan. Yung mga abogado ng mga senior na, ay ganito ginagawa namin nun, effective naman, bakit babaguhin pa? Di ba? Biglang nag-pandemic. So wala tayong choice kundi mag-online hearing. Di ba? If there's a beauty brought about by the pandemic, hindi ko sinasabing maganda yung pandemic, pero may nadala namang kabutihan. Ito, yung online platform. Kasi otherwise, bago nag-pandemic, magpupunta ako dyan sa PUP para mag-lecture, hindi ba? Pupunta ako doon sa iba't ibang review center. Pero ngayon hindi na. At the comfort of our home, we can deliver the lecture. Traditional practice and reluctance among personnel may hinder reform and adoption. Totoo naman yan. May mga tao talaga na ayaw ng pagbabago. Comprehensive training and education are necessary to counter the resistance. Alam niyo, ang solusyon lang dyan, i-educate yung tao. Di ba? Reklamo tayo ng reklamo na ito ang mga nai-elect, educate natin. Tulungan natin. Then, digital divide. Ay, tingnan nyo ito. Huwag na yung please speak slowly. Isang RTC yan somewhere. Nakalagay, all councils, please provide your own internet connection for video conferencing. Kasi bumabagal yung internet connection pagka marami ang nakikiconnect. Diba? Hindi connect sa lahat ng wifi. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, ating mga internet providers, para mga jowa nyo lang, madalas nagloloko. So, ensuring equitable access to technology in remote and underprivileged regions. Kung sa Metro Manila, medyo mabagal pa ang internet, paano na yung mga nasa malalayong lugar? Yung aakyat ka sa puno para magkaroon ng signal, paano ka mag-attend ng bar review? Nasa ibabaw ka ng bubong. Mahirap naman yon. So, addressing disparities in internet connectivity and digital literacy. Kahit naman meron kang online platform, kung wala ka namang internet connection, hindi mo rin magagamit yan eh. Kaya material pa rin yung internet connection natin. No? And then, what are the expected outcomes? Reduce case backlog. Okay? So, timely resolution of cases within reasonable periods. Bakit? Nakita ninyo itong judge na ito, sinuspende dahil na-delay yung pag-render niya ng judgment. Why? Under Section 15, Paragraph 1, Article 8 of the 1987 Constitution, ang sabi ng Constitution natin, all matters filed after the effectivity of this Constitution. Kailan ba nag-take effect ito? February 2, 1987. Ang tagal na yan. Must be decided and resolved within 24 months. From the date of submission for the Supreme Court. 24 months. Doon sa mga lower collegiate courts, unless reduced by the Supreme Court, 12 months. So, isang taon lang dapat. Kaya lang minsan, bago makarating sa appellate level, ang tagal dun sa trial court eh. And for the lower courts, meaning the trial courts, 3 months. Nasusunod ba ito? Oo naman. Kaso yung magpresenta ng ebidensya yung plaintiff, inabot ng 3 taon. Sabi niya, nag-rest na siya ng kanyang case. Formal offer of evidence. Di siyempre, yung defendant naman, inabot din ng 3 taon. Hindi naman siguro pala yung kasalanan ng korte yan. So, pag the case submitted for resolution, doon lang tatakbo yung 3 months eh. Di ba? So, ano nangyari? 3 months and 6 years. Bakit? Nagtig 3 taon yung litigation. Ganong katagal. Now, in the case of Villarojo versus Judge Noel, violation ito nung sinabi natin doon sa Article 8, Section 15, Paragraph 1. It took the judge 10 years, more than 10 years, to decide the case. Sabi ni Judge, nag-take over lang naman ako sa kasong yan eh. But according to the Supreme Court, that's a violation of Canon 6 of the new Code of Judicial Conduct. Therefore, the judge was suspended. Dahil hindi niya dinesisyonan within the reglementary period as provided by the Constitution. The court noted how the judge allowed the case to lag for more than 10 years. From the time na nag-take over siya, inabot ng 10 years. Hindi nag-iisa yan. Maraming ganyan. Kaya, anong ginawa ng Korte Suprema? He was found guilty of gross neglect of duty. And he was suspended from the office without salary for 2 years. Suspension without pay for 2 years. Yun. Isa ito sa mga manifestation na talagang seryoso ang Korte Suprema dito sa innovations na ito. No? And what are the expected outcomes? Sabi natin, improve public trust. Kasi kapag mas matagal ang resolution ng kaso, nawawala ang tiwala ng publiko. So, increase transparency and accountability in judicial operation, because public office is public trust, and enhance accessibility, broader reach of judicial services through technology and outreach programs. Okay? So, gagamitin ng technology, Ang Supreme Court lalapit doon sa mga nangangailangan ng tulong at resilient judiciary. Adaptability to future challenges, including pandemic. Ay natapos na tayo pero dumadami na naman ang cases ng COVID. Hopefully, wag nang bumalik sa ganung kalalang sitwasyon. Ano? Now, what about in the broader context of Philippine governance? Itong SPJI aligns with the National Development Goals. Meron tayong tinatawag na Philippine Development Plan. At yung Philippine Development Plan naman is in accordance with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Maraming items dyan. Now, yung SPJI in particular supports Goal 16 doon sa Sustainable Development Goals ng UN. Ano yon? Promote peace, justice, and strong institutions. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive industrialization, and foster innovation. Ito naman yung goal number 9. Sabi nga nila, goal lang naman yan, pwede namang hindi sundin. Ika nga, nangako na nga, gusto ito pa rin pa. Pero wag naman ganun. Di ba?